Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we have, of course, few arenas here. Of course, we talk of different one societies. We particularly mentioned that very much. And secondly, we are also basically handling the so-called how to hire the right person for the right jobs when it comes to different the work experience and then the job experience and then who is qualified for that particular jobs. And then you have to hire the right person, right? So once the other one neglected all the others, of course all your job won't be done successful unless the candidates they are really willing, and then they have what they call manifestos, non-robotic manifestos, and then those manifestos they have at hand is of course which they call human manifestos, human rights manifestos for that particular purposes. And then if you look here around addition 2013, of course that is the rise and the fall, totally the fall of Sudan. And they barely become divided, and fortunately equatorial areas is scrapped off and then divided, and then they give north a name, they give here a name on the area of equatorials, and then we have weakness coming from our non-opponent, but that is opponent due to the rebellisms. We never do support. On your side, you're supporting Taliban, and then on your side, you're accusing those people that are Taliban. Yeah, rebel is the same pain you have in your heart for the Taliban is the same pain we have for those rebels, because those are people, they are rebels. They are rebels, and then particularly the COVID-19. Some people said, yeah, this is COVID-19. This is the same thing, is a severe cases for every individual. People do that. And then on occasions, that's how the matters goes, and then with those, of course, it brought roughly 2010, if you look at that, that is when the cases of the peace talks was on tables all along. So there you can see, and how they reached to 2013, and then they declare themselves at least 3 years away celebrations as independence. They all independent there in this small area which they cut. But for us, it's not yet independent. For us, it's still the Sudan management. So that is why the one who embezzled is the one that has a very fake names, So clearly, if we look here on those areas, we said how to get hired as a one society. So of course, hire the right person for the right for the right passions, for the right experienced jobs, other than a robot to finish the jobs in places for a human task. Find the right people for the right task. Okay, how many interested persons at your loyalties? If you have addition, you have people who are interested on your side, and then of course discriminate advantages and disadvantages to find a solution into that. Of course, Libya has accepted errors, and then Libya has accepted also different the consequential portional part of different the side map in the year in 20th of 2013, of course, which created weaknesses of African leadership. Then we went and we see it in African nations. There are plenty of weaknesses there in 2013 as a result on our world leadership, because the powers has failed 90% in Africa. Political leaderships, and then in the white political leaderships and across worldwide. That is very severe, is still 90%. There is nobody got adapted to those regions as the power of Sudan rise and fell in those years. Therefore, it has been all announced in Libya and then by Libya itself. Of course, further decisions were enhanced in the year 2021. Regions such as Sudan to Kenya, Sudan to Uganda, and then given a go-ahead, of course, a decision to memorize its beauty of 1821 or 180 BC as a part and present situations. Of course, there are quite a lot of fake people and then fake ideas, fake memos, and then fake troubles with the how to troubles. Of course, compared with the so listed fake namings, and then many other had gone, of course, wrong without even names, because those people they may get you get these names, they may get you go with another name. In the terms of different technologies which we are holding in our hands, because those technologies they can write more better than a pen, and then that's why a fake name is always there in our records to do records. Of course, had gone without different names, and then tend to be different, forgetting their faculties and focus on a specific record, no furthering the records to the fake added. That is those who are handling the fake names. For instance, if we all the world accept, we become all different South Sudan, the South Sudan people will become more rebel. You may find that they have reported different. These mean people killed in this area, in that South Sudan area. These mean people killed, and then these mean people leave the countries and then flee to another countries. That's when we were South Sudan. I mean, how many of them were registered in Uganda, registered in Kenya? So many of them they were there. That's when we accept we can use them. They become completed, and then if they become completed, which area they blame was more completed, Sudan. So what is right? That is choosing the right job maker for the right task. That's why our decisions for that particular purpose. So furthering the records, the fake added. Of course, here in the edition, if you look at it, you take examples. In some areas, this is called P-squares, something like this. If here a name is registered like that, here is a product like this. So I'm my son to you there, your father there in Sudan there, and then now this is what they call addition P-squares. A P-square, for instance, here if I'm walking the street, a guy is telling go P-square, you wear a suit, go P-square. The one man will yell to a black man, who is in the suit, or another one man in the suit. They have to yell for you in the vehicles. If you are not in the vehicle, they have to yell for you on the bridge. So you guys, you're all on the bridge. So you're all on the bridge. What is expected down there? They will yell, this was the P-square. P-square. You are goof. They may say, if they talk of goof, goof is somewhere there, a brand name. Brand name which they put on their head like this, very smart, because we are mostly by the street people, you know. So here people normally take as an insult, and then on the other end they take it as a way to issue yourself in the toilet, one way, you know. So that is the regrets. In the different meanings, at different occasions and at different mandatory fields. So you may find, of course, that is a blame on me, seasoning what they did not intend to be. So, of course, when it comes to different this Uber, of course, easy to create the Uber brand records. We are Canadians. We do support alcohol in blood. And then in other words, it means also let this don't post in the Facebooks. I am different issue, and I am over hiding with his ziziton or zis, and then I'm now really issued over there, and then I have to delete your account, Facebook account. That's why in 41 days we are locked down there on Facebook, and then we have to move to another area of the Facebook for that purpose, and then that's the feedbacks there. So we have those challenges, how to travel to yazol in most occasions. So that is to do with edition tips or the etc and handling the truths that in next tomorrow may found. That is the idea. Cases to do with the different things, different meanings. But these things which they are saying, whatever is Zimbabwe or is Zimbabwe. As a founder of Facebook does know that the guy is somewhere. Wanna blame someone who doesn't know their job, how to do their jobs, and then how to travel their jobs. I cannot travel his jobs. That's why I have my feedbacks, which is opposite, 100% opposite. Why shall I go with such realizations over such deals? It's a big deal for me. I cannot do it. I cannot travel the individual's task unless there is understanding. That is what it could be. So it's quite a big dilemma for me, a big dilemma for them. And then everywhere we are really intermingled. And then we are facing the so-called circumstances of to do rights. So even if this is the thing, a guy may hide, of course, of a certain product. A name is there. In African language, you may say, this is not a name. But here we are in a big multiple city. This is a big multiple city, and then of course, a guy may write any nonsenses, may sound a very big business. That's why people are normally fearing. So, if you see a guy just ride over the bridge, or put something like insult or do what in another country, there is not that one. Is a big business somewhere there. So that's why we normally remain silent. We don't say about it. But it does is crazy. So if you look at the edition, the zoom back, which one is not a name for me, but there is a disaster behind my books, which they are cutting there, the papers which they are hiding. So they have to waste me there a lot, and then my books, this much book is hidden there. What is that for? So that is a regard. So is a different meaning. So if we try to cook our mind, we come with the solutions, we dig, and then those are the meaning, It's very, very hard. How hard I read it, you cannot get it unless you go to my content there. You go on our editor site, and then you look at the what we write there, down there, and then on our comment line, and then you open, you click this one, read more, and then by read more you can be able to get a clue out of that, and then you will go and cook your mind. You can feedback yourself from there. That is just overview, and then the area of our feedbacks to those arenas. Of course, that is me, Wayne Hassan, as is it on.